What's good? What's good? What's good, fans? Thanks for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans podcast. We appreciate you guys for being here. Give yourselves a round of applause tonight. Um, yeah, man. Cleveland, what's the weather like up there?
Cam, it's hot. It's hot. It's 80. It's 87 right now. Blistering.
87. What's the humidity factor, Cleveland? Let me ask you that one.
You know, Cam, we don't really factor in the humidity factor around here too tough because it's not really humid. There is a westerly breeze off of Puget Sound. What's up, Barry?
What's up, Barry? Where you at? We got this dude in the Northwest talking about it's hot. It's blistering hot up there.
It's hot.
No humidity. No humidity to speak of.
There is some. There is some.
He doesn't even know what heat index is.
It's not. Down south sticky. It's not Miami humid. I'm not going to say that. Okay. It's not New Orleans humid. I'm not going to say that.
It's zero humidity.
Off of Puget Sound, off of Lake Washington, off of Lake Sammamish, off of Lake Union. I get that, but it's still hot. Hot as hell.
Let me tell you this story. After living in Southern California I moved there in 99, so this probably was 2014. By that time, I had stopped wearing coats. I didn't have any coats to think of because you don't really need them down there. So we travel on a business trip. We go to Cleveland. We flew into Dayton. Excuse me. We flew into Dayton, and then we went to Philadelphia. And this was like November. Okay, again. I had to dig deep for the coat to shake off the dust off a coat to wear. So we get off the plane, we go to our rental car, and I wasn't driving, but I go to put my bags in the trunk. And I look in the back seat. I'm looking at what is this? Somebody left a stick in the back seat. What is a stick in the back seat? What? I didn't know what it was. It completely dawned on me that this little stick and it had an edge on the side of it and it had a brush. I was like, what the heck is this thing? I had it just went completely out of my mind of what it possibly could be until I
see utensil. What is this for?
I was like, what? Somebody had to leave their stick in the back seat. They're going to be missing this thing. And then I finally pick it up and it's the damn ice scraper with the brush. I'm like, I just thought to myself, I've been in Southern California over a decade and not even had to consider this thing. And not even consider what this was. It was
so much so that you've completely forgotten what it looks like or what it's used for.
I forgot what that damn thing was. That was fun. It was just I had to take a minute. It's like, okay, okay. So, I mean there's no weather in Southern California. That's why it happened. So, but to hear you think of complaining about the heat, oh my goodness, it's kind of funny, fan. So I gotta bust my man's chops for complaining about the heat for the 2 weeks he's gonna have. The sun's gonna be out. 2 weeks up there. I want to thank you guys once again for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. It is July 17th, 2024. Week 301, Cleveland. We starting to meter all over again. We go for another couple years, man. I did the math, Cleveland. That's 5 years. 5 years of shows that we celebrated last week, man.
Man, almost close to 6.
Man, it's a lot of shows we've been getting it in, man. So I appreciate you for hanging tough, sticking with me to get this in. It's been a blast, learning a lot, obviously, and sharing content with the fans. So thank you guys for tuning in. Everybody who's rocked with us, who continues to rock with us, we appreciate you. Make sure you hit the like button, hit the share button. It doesn't cost you anything. So let the people know who's the best podcast is that you guys tune into every week. We thank you. We appreciate you for that. A couple things we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the Olympics. We have a little Olympics conversation, Cleveland. We're going to look at the NBA Summer League right now. Oh, they got your boy Dalton in street gear. They seen enough from that guy, huh? Put him on the shelf, huh? Okay. Maybe we'll see if Bronny can get a bucket tonight. I don't know. He's on the TV. We'll see. Bronny can get a bucket. But we're going to talk NBA Summer League. We're going to talk NFL off season. We're going to do our fantasy preview. We got defense next week. You want to do the tight ends and defense in the same week, or you want to do tight ends and then defense in the second week? How you want to do that?
I think tight ends and defense in the same week, they don't really score that many points, either one of those positions. So, yeah, we can knock both of those out at the same time.
This week, we're going to talk about the best top 10 quarterbacks on the market for your fantasy team this week. In Major League Baseball fans, I don't know if you guys, couple things from their little All-Star break, All-Star weekend. Obviously, you had the girls singing drunk during the home run derby.
Sure.
Funny thing is, I had the TV on, wasn't really watching it. I just had the TV on, and the girl goes into the home run into her rendition. I'm like, who the heck is this? They said 4-time Grammy nominee. Like, I had no idea what the country singer. Okay, she's somebody from Texas. Okay, this girl was awful. It was like, I'm like, hold on, is this me? Let me go over here and look and see, get a peek at her. Maybe I'm off. Like, and it turns out I wasn't the only one feeling that way. It sounded exactly like she been. What time the game started? 7:30. Sounds like she got there about 3:30, and must have did her sound check.
Shots,
and then she was at the bar. She was at the bar getting it in, because that's what it sounded like. She couldn't get her through her notes. It was absolutely horrible. And then I, checked Twitter, and then everybody else is grilling her too, man, skewing her. So I mean, it well deserved. She deserved that. And then we'll get into it later on. But those uniforms, man, what the heck? You called it last week, Cleveland, when you gave him a perfect suggestion. Clearly, Manfred don't listen to the show. We're gonna have to text him the show. What was your suggestion, Cleveland?
Go back to the old school where you just wear the uniform of your home team, and everyone is not uniform universal looking the same, but you represent your squad. I mean, what difference does it make?
Man, that crap they had on yesterday was awful. Like how did somebody say, yeah, that's like, not only look at it, they had to do a model or rendition of it of some sort, and then like on the computer, and then say, okay, yeah, let's make a sample of that. And then the sample should have told them to shut this down. Like, close that book. Let's get what happened to sample 2 or 3, maybe 4 or 5 with that stuff you guys came up with. That was absolutely horrible. Nike should be ashamed of yourself. Like, I'm with you, Jaylen. Nike should be ashamed of yourself. Fans, each and every week we start the show with our numbers game. With it being July 20 or July, I keep wanting to say 27, July 17, 2024, and week 301 of the Voice of the Fans podcast. We're going to look at the number 17 and the number 1, Cleveland. When you think of the number 17, who wore that jersey number the best, or who comes to your mind first?
Cam, who comes to mind first is Devontae Adams, just because there's just so much speculation and talk of him being traded.
Oh, here you go. New York Jets fan over here thinking about you guys going to
Devontae Adams is who comes to mind first.
Who was the best?
Excuse me?
Are you trying to snake the Raiders for the receiver?
No, I'm just saying, that's what's the news right now. I don't know what's going on with that. So he comes to mind first. Who wore it the best is probably Hondo, John Havlicek.
I wonder what those painters and carpenters had to say about Hondo. I wonder. No Dave Craig, no Darryl Waltrip, no Josh Allen, no Doug Williams. Shame on you. Shame on you. When you thinking of number 1, Cleveland, I'm gonna steal Anthony Hardaway from you. So outside of Anthony Hardaway, who comes to your mind first?
outside of Penny, Warren Moon comes to mind first. The first
That's,
African American quarterback to be inducted into the NFL Hall of Fame.
the first time I think you gave some love to a University of Washington alum all season long.
I was just going there, and I believe he's also in the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame with them 5 straight Grey Cup championships with the Edmonton Eskimos. So he comes to mind first. Did he wear it the best? It's either him or Oscar, and I kind of lean towards Oscar Robertson.
Again, no love for anybody in the 206. Huh? What about
the first person to average
Gus Williams
season and a champion and an NBA champion?
Gus Williams been in the back-to-back NBA Finals, NBA champion.
Sure did.
I mean, so stop with the champion excuse. Gus Williams is the first person to come to my mind with the. I don't know what do you call that style cut Gus had. It's not a bowl cut.
It's called the bozo. It's like
the bozo,
here, and there's no hair here.
But it wasn't even like it was close on the side. He had a full on fro. With it bald in the
right here,
yeah, with the bozo, huh?
From a very early age.
I had no idea. I remember telling my pops I want that haircut. Give me that haircut. He's like, no, you don't want that. I remember saying that because I was going to the Sonics games as a youth, man, all the time. Gus was the truth. Cleveland, Team USA beats down Serbia today. I don't know if you saw did you see the highlights? Did you watch the game? Did you see the highlights?
I did not see the highlights, and I did not watch the game, but I interpreted enough from the stats to kind of ascertain what happened.
Serbia was up 29-28 after the first quarter. Serbia hit a last-second bucket at the end of the buzzer to give them a 1-point lead, and then I think it was like 61-48 at halftime. But that second quarter they kind of put it on them, and then because they gave up a 20-point lead in their last game, Serbia had to take the brunt of that. They end up beating them by 26-9. But you got like LeBron James, man. Your guy LeBron James just bowled over one of the players, man, on a fast break. Dude was coming to defend it, and LeBron just put his shoulder right in the guy, like he was going into the end zone. Like, LeBron, this is basketball, bro.
It's international play, so it's a little bit more physical, Cam. That's kind of the adjustment. That's the first adjustment that the players have to make. It's more physical. You're not going to get all those ticky-tack fouls. It's not like a.
No, they called a foul. They called a foul, but and there's another thing. I don't understand how there was a foul on the guy trying to play defense who just gets a chest full of LeBron's shoulder
because he was in the way and he wasn't set.
I don't even. What do I even say? What do I even say when the guy I'm describing a play and the guy just gives me he wasn't set? I mean, all right, I'm gonna move on, fans. I'm gonna move on. If you saw the play, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You have to be questioning that play. What's your thoughts on Jaylen Brunson leaving $113 million on the table for the New York Knicks? Is this a conflict of interest with the agents and the agent being the coach's brother-in-law or the GM's brother-in-law? Something to that effect.
No, so let's start from the top. Leon Rose is the president of the New York Knicks.
Okay.
Leon Rose is Jaylen Brunson's godfather. Leon Rose's son is Jaylen Brunson's agent.
So, yeah. What did I say? I said brother. I said son-in-law.
So that says that there has been some type of negotiation that if you do this now, there will be a compensation down the road. We don't have to say exactly what it is right now. You don't have to necessarily trust us, but hey, the president is your godfather and the agent is your godfather's father or son.
So initially, when I heard this deal, I was like, okay, well, so what this means is, and it's been known for most of the season, or at least the second half of the season when Jaylen really took off, that he can get paid now, some money this year, or wait till next year and almost, not double it, but he can get that 113 more if he wait till next year. Okay, at 25, 26 years old, if he by signing this year, that means he's coming back to the table sooner. He'll be under 30 when he comes back to the table. And so he'll be able to whop him over the head again, which there's no reason to take a pay cut at that time. Do you agree with that logic? I thought that made good sense.
Well, I mean, the way that I see it is that it gives them.
That looked like LeBron. That looked like Bronny. It was actually one of his teammates that made a driving layup. I'm sorry, fans. Go ahead. I'm sorry, Cleveland. Didn't mean to cut you off. Didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, so I mean, he's going to make his money on the back end. I mean, he's given the team flexibility to have opportunities to kind of sign all of these, players that they've brought in and, make the best of this window of opportunity. But at the end of the day, when it comes back around, there's going to be a reward for, your unselfishness at this point in your career.
So you finally admitted that you believe in culture, and culture plays an impact. You finally admitted that last week. Oh, I need to cut. I need to clip that.
In what context did I admit that, Cam?
I need to cut. I need to clip that. I need to clip that.
Cam, since you're so on that, in what context did I say that?
You said culture matters. You hesitated to. You hesitated to admit it, but
be specific.
No, I am. You said I don't want to. I don't want to say it. I hate to say it.
Can't even be specific about it.
Remind me. What am I missing? What do I have wrong?
No, you remind me. What was I talking about?
You're talking about how culture actually matters. Culture actually has an impact.
In what context? With what particular instance was I referring
to? All the details. I have to go back. I have to go back and clip it. So now all of a sudden you don't want to admit to saying it. I'm gonna have to go back and clip it.
No, it was very specific, but anyway, go on with what you were saying.
Since you now understand that culture matters, let me put it like that. Since now you do understand it, what how much did that play with the Villanova kids? All playing in unison together. Does that get him to the next level? Well, obviously there's a reason he's doing this.
No, that was in college.
So you don't think, because I know where this guy likes to shoot the ball. I know what kind of defense he plays. I know he's gonna come over and take the charge. I know this guy is not gonna take the charge.
Nope, that was in college.
What do you mean that was in college?
That was in college when they had that type of success.
So you don't do the same
thing. That type of, zen type of thing in unison and chemistry. That was in college that worked. That won't work at the NBA level.
So your daily activities changed that much from college to now.
What was the last time
your weekend activities?
7, 8 years ago?
Huh?
7, 8 years ago they played together?
I'm just asking.
Okay, and I answered. No, it doesn't make any difference.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see about that. Cleveland, there's been a lot of talk about Jaylen Brown being sitting in the front row at a summer league. I mean, again, you say summer league doesn't matter. But before I get to Jaylen Brown, what are your takeaways from summer league this year? Do you have any takeaways?
Yeah, that I was 100% correct in my assessment that Bronny shouldn't be playing Summer League.
But Bronny is playing, so clearly Rob done kicked you off the text thread.
Yeah, he went a different direction altogether. He went rogue on me. I mean, I thought we had a kind of an understanding as to kind of how this whole thing would play out if Bronny played in Summer League, and he decided to go his own direction. I guess LeBron, the king on the other end, was just very adamant about getting exposure, which is unfortunate because he's got too much exposure, which is what we feared on this show and talked about many numerous occasions. Other than that, Shepard's been killing him. Dalton. Dalton has done enough to get the cushy chair. Sit down here over here with your street clothes. Great job. Castle with the mysterious wrist injury. Great. Didn't have to have a wrist injury. Nice. So the Sar guy that was supposed to be the number one pick, except for he didn't want to work out for Atlanta, going over 15. That's a lot of O's. You get double-digit O's in the Summer League.
I mean, I think the more troubling issue, not only did he go 0 for 15, 0 rebounds, 0 assists. I should have stayed to see if he had any fouls, or was he just out there getting cardio? Because that was kind of, I mean, at 6'10", 6'11", you got to get a rebound.
He's 7 foot, right? Isn't he he's like 7 or 7'1"?
You got to get a rebound. You got to get a block shot. I mean, you can't go 0 across the board, 0 for 15 across the board.
Yeah.
Like, Bronny made a bucket. Bronny got the whole all his teammates off the bench. Bronny 9 points, 4 for 5, one for 2 from deep. They're looking for him again.
So Cam, what type of player gets that type of reception when they make a bucket?
Cut it out, man. Now you calling the guy a mascot, man. Now you calling the guy a mascot. Go.
I mean, do they jump off the bench when Kevin Durant scores a bucket?
Here he comes. Come off the curl. Boom. Hit his three. His first 3-pointer of the Summer League. I think they're the first one in 3 games. Way to go, Bronny. Way to go, Bronny. With tonight, 4 for 8. He was 0 for 11 before that. He was 0 for 12 actually before that one went in. So right now he's 1 for 12 from deep. He's getting a TV action. But yeah, you got see what you're not doing is you got to celebrate the process. I didn't talk to my brother about this. My nephew was graduating high school. My brother really didn't want to celebrate him. He's like, high school, that's something you're supposed to do. You're supposed to graduate high school. What do you need to? I'm flying up to Seattle to go kick it with him. Like, he's like, you're supposed to do that. That's the least you can do is graduate high school. I'm like, no, bro, you gotta celebrate the progress. When they take a step, you gotta celebrate them. When you take a step, you gotta celebrate them. Just like when you're training your dog, you call your dog, he comes to you. You gotta give him a little treat. Celebrate the process. That way they get hooked on that success. Cleveland's calling the guy a mascot by saying, what type of player do they celebrate after he goes 0 for 12 and he finally makes it 3 and everybody comes up off the bench? I was gonna say he hits another one, pull up at the top of the key, but it rimmed out.
Did it?
Man, you gotta quit being so hard on this guy.
I'm not being hard on him. I'm just like, man, would you please just pull him off the court, please? And just
there
wait.
You go, taking charges right there. Good, look at a good play. Dude's trying to drive on him, and he gets in his way and takes the charge.
He's a defensive specialist. I almost forgot. That's how he's going to make this roster, being a defensive specialist.
Lou Dort. That's what your guy, Coach Deucery, called him. Said he's going to be like Lou Dort.
Nice. What a great compliment.
Somebody said Patrick Beverly, which I thought that was disrespectful to Patrick Beverly.
Certainly is, because Patrick can hoop.
Patrick averaged 40 in high school. He averaged 40 before he got to the league.
Patrick Beverly can hoop. I mean, that's been proven. He's been in the league 10 years, harassing people, and he's had some 25-point nights in this league. Might even had a 30-point game in this league. Bronny will never do that.
He can't get a 30-point game?
Oh. Never.
Never, he says. Okay.
Never.
You guys mark this. Mark the tape. July 17, 2024, Cleveland says he'll never score 30 points in a game. We're going to have to, I'm going to hold you to that one there. Nonetheless, so there was a SARS. We got to talking about SARS in his 0-4 across the board. You like Castle. I told you the Spurs should have moved up to go get Shepherd. Shepherd comes out here, ball. And again, I may have touched on this last week. It's not a full game what we want to see from a full game of stats from. We want to see if these guys, and this isn't to say that LeBron is going to go 0-for his whole season, but Cleveland chalked him up as he's going 0-for his whole season. But we want to see, see you get out there and play some defense. We want to see if you can get in front of somebody. We want to see if you can hit that open jumper. We want to see if you can, run the floor. If you can run an offense. That's what we see out of Castle. That's what we've seen out of Shepherd. So it's not that Summer League is the standard of all Bears. Is going to predict if these guys are going to be superstars or not. It is predicting, and they're showing that they're NBA caliber players. Some of them had success. Some of them, it's not. It's kind of spotty in Summer League, but that's what we want to see out here. And Bronny came in. Bronny came in. He's had a lot of weight on his shoulders. I'm not sure if you're familiar with who his dad is. Kind of put a lot of weight on his shoulders by saying last season that he's better than a lot of players in the NBA right now today. That was mentioned last year, or I don't know if you recall that.
Oh yeah.
So Bronny has had a lot of weight on his shoulders, and it's going to take him a couple games to kind of shake that off and get to be himself. Like when nobody's looking, the kid is great. When nobody's looking, kind of like that's how you have to be good to play Call of Duty.
Nobody is looking. The kid is great. What the hell are you talking about?
When nobody's looking, Cleveland, when all eyes are on him.
Looking, what the hell? What?
when they're
you see that?
When they're the McDonald's game,
Cleveland. When he's in the gym by himself, he's just shooting from the logo and can't miss. And just you and LeBron saw this because nobody's looking. What are you talking about?
When they're in the back, they got the little hoop in the backyard. LeBron has to have court in the backyard. LeBron has to have court in the backyard. You ever seen videos of him and LeBron just having a shootout?
No, man. No.
Again, when nobody's eyes are on them.
Well, it's the nobody looking time is over with, man. He plays in the Crip House now.
I'm trying to give the guy some love.
Come on, man. He got enough left. He got drafted in the second round, 55th. He got a guaranteed contract for $8 million, and he's going to start this season playing for the Los Angeles Lakers.
I mean, he's gonna get it. He's gonna get some floor time. You're gonna be impressed come October. You're gonna be impressed with him. You're gonna be like, I didn't see that.
No, I'm not going to be impressed, Cameron. I'm going to be relieved when this circus is over and they can go in a different direction. Either sit over here next to Pops all year for the 82 games, or the alternative is to go down to the G League, and we can't guarantee that we can pull you back up from there. So you might as well just sit next to Pops all year.
So you don't think he's gonna get a run with the South Bay Lakers in the G League?
I don't think they'll do that to him. I mean, if they do that to him, he has no career, Cam.
I mean, he has a 4-year contract. He's guaranteed
He has
4
a
years.
4-year contract. That money is guaranteed. But if he
Yeah.
goes down to the G League and can't hoop, then what is your rationale for pulling him back?
Well, he's had enough time to, again, see, the same as you're grading him on this summer league. You're being so
No, man. Listen,
the same as you've been so critical on what you're seeing out of him in summer league. You're gonna be like, okay, G League, he has some run. He's got his legs up under him. He knows what NBA basketball is all about. Now let's pull him up and play with the professionals, to play with the big boys, and now let's see how he survives with the big boys. That's your rationale for pulling them back, letting them get a little run. Cleveland, they do this all the time in baseball. Go play with Double A. Go play go play with Double A. Get a couple hits. Get a couple hits. Get in rhythm.
Like baseball.
What do you? Why did they go to play in Double A? Why did Clayton Kershaw? Who I told you Clayton Kershaw should have been retired 2 years ago. Why did Clayton Kershaw go play in Double A and then they call him back up?
Are you really comparing an NL MVP 4-time Cy Young winner to Bronny James? Is that the comparison that you're trying to make?
My question is
champion.
My question is, why does Kershaw go down to?
Let me try this again for you, Cameron. You've seen how hard it is for players from the G League averaging 25, 26 a game to get a 10-day contract. That dude is going to go down there and score 6 points a game. Don't let him do that. Just keep him up here on the bench in LA. Once he goes down there, I mean, those players are really trying to get to the league, man. They don't have a free pass. They got to ball out every game to even get like a phone call. This dude doesn't have to do any of that.
Oh, so he can't stand up to the pressure. Is what you're saying? Now you're saying he can't.
What I'm saying is that Cameron.
You're saying he's not even a pressure player. Is what you're saying?
Cameron, what I am saying is the same thing that I have been saying from the beginning. He is not an NBA basketball player. Everyone knows this. The more exposure that you give him to not being an NBA basketball player, the harder it's going to be to continue this facade that he's an NBA basketball player. And if you have the audacity to send him down there with true players that are grinding to be an NBA basketball player that truly have NBA potential, they will bury him. If for no other reason than I'm on the tape because I blocked Bronny James' shot 3 times. I stole the ball from him every time he had it. He couldn't
Clearly, you and Rob ain't on the same picture.
We're not because he's thinking like Bronny's like really like a player. Like no one ever told you that. LeBron.
If his dad wasn't over in Dubai right now, I mean,
what would
you be eating his word? You be eating your words.
What would he be doing? He would be showing me that tape in the backyard that you're talking about.
He'd be talking and coaching him up.
This is what he can really do with nobody watching.
Woo, Cleveland is being so hard on a young pup. I'm telling
the Lakers to save him from all of this, man. Just his hamstring hurts. Sit down. We go to training camp. We run the thing. Oh man, he looked great in practice. Great. Sit next to dad for like 20 games and then have a hamstring injury. Your back hurts.
So is Pop in the Spurs that far ahead of what everybody else is doing, that they just sit guys and we've seen enough, Castle. Come sit next to us. You got to risk a wrist injury. Did he pull a tendon or something? Was that the excuse that Pop? Sprained wrist or something?
His wrist hurts. I mean, that's all you got to say. I mean, you don't even know what's more specific than that in summer league.
Wow, being hard on Bronny. So what are your thoughts? Let's talk about this from a couple points because clearly you don't you agree with Jaylen Brown when he says sitting in the front row of summer league game and he says to wifey, uh, Bronny's not an NBA player. Clearly you agree with him. Um, so I'm not don't need your feeling about that. But what's your thoughts on this being recorded? His somebody shooting video, up close video of him talking, and we got lip readers all over America, sharing what he said over here to wifey. So they're reading his lips to see what he's talking about to his girlfriend. Like, I don't know about you, but don't you want your girl when you guys go to the Mariners game to talk about J Rod? I didn't even know J Rod was a nickname though, but did you know they want them? J Rod is a hell of a dude. Look at his look how his arm strength. He can throw the ball. He can throw somebody out from center field to third base. Don't you want your girl talking about? Yeah, he's a stud. He's one of the better center fielders we had in Seattle Mariner history. And then that getting recorded, and now it's a thing, and he has to go on Twitter and kind of explain himself. What's your thoughts on his words being recorded, as it were?
I give Jaylen a lot of credit for being a real dude. There are several instances where he's shown he's a real dude, right?
Like Jaylen Brown is actually a really cool dude. I mean, I've had a couple chances to talk to him, but Jaylen Brown is actually a really cool dude. Like,
it starts with him using his platform. We're talking about supporting Black businesses. As soon as he got the big contract, and then taking it a step further, playing in that big three, man. Risking injury, whatever, criticism, whatever, and being a normal enough dude to not want to do all of this, when you talk like this, Cam, and you just get, isn't it like, it looks weird when people talk like that. It's like, why you gotta talk like that? It's like, do you really think that people are so into your conversation, into your business that, you need to do that?
Clearly they are, Cleveland.
Clearly they are. I am so naive. Clearly
they are.
In that world that I can't imagine such a thing. I never want to be so famous that I have to talk to you like this, man.
I mean, come on. Post game, LeBron and Carmelo post game, they used to do like this here. D Wade was always doing stuff like this.
And back then, I used to be like, who do you think is so interested in what you're saying? And clearly, they know much more than I do because it's happened before. So. And just him being so comfortable, just being like a regular dude to just be just talking to his girl.
He's talking to his wife. He's talking to wifey. He's talking to his girl. At a summer league game.
Why is the whole world know what I just said to my wife? That's
That's
how do you even take precautions for that other than to do that? It's like, man, I'm not a spy, man. What do you want to know? Why are you talking about so badly?
What's good? Hey man, you miss a Bronny talk. Cleveland and Rob obviously aren't on the same page because Cleveland said he'd have a mysterious hamstring injury by now and sitting out till preseason. Clearly, that's not the deal. Thumbs up, thumbs down on Bronny right now, or do you see progression? If you see progression, give us the thumbs up, big guy. Clearly guys are into what these guys are saying to each other. That's part of it.
You know what it reminds me of every time I see it. Have you ever seen the movie Goodfellas?
Yeah.
When Nicky Santoro and his capo or in the desert is like, the FBI's got lip readers, so we got to do this, and they were doing it in the 80s, but it's that's because the FBI is watching you. It's
right. Yeah.
We're doing all kinds of illegal things. I'm just sitting in courtside chopping it up.
That's media. That's 2024. I wouldn't even say 2024. It's been going on. This has been going on for a while. But yeah, it's interesting. Cleveland, I wrote an article about this a couple weeks ago, And Adam Silver actually came out and admitted that he's leaning. He'd rather see the NBA have parity across the board. He doesn't want the super team. I mean, do you recall the article on voiceofthefans.org when I was asking? I
Yeah.
think this is pre-playoffs. Do you
And,
guys
and
like? Go ahead.
no, I do recall the article, and you were leaning towards you prefer the superior team, and everyone else is chasing them. And Adam Silver is absolutely lying. That's what you say when you have 30 different owners, and you're talking. No, you would actually like New York and LA playing in the championship every year. If you had your way. You just can't say that out loud.
He just called Adam Silver a liar. It's straight up politician, huh?
Yeah. 30 billionaires. Yeah. We want everybody to have a chance to win the title. No, you want New York and LA every year.
All right, I've been dragging my feet on this particular article here on what the Clippers are doing, what direction they're going to on. So a couple things came out since we last spoke. Obviously, Kawhi has bowed out of the Olympics.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Health reasons.
Well, I mean, it made sense. I don't think he should have been playing in the Olympics to begin with. Start of the season. Who had the rule? I think it was the NBA. If you don't finish, I think it was the NBA going into All Star game, maybe a few seasons ago. If you don't play the last game, going into the All Star game, you can't play in the All Star game. You can't say you got I got a sore ankle that in a Thursday game before the All Star game, and then we see you in Vegas or in the All Star City Friday morning, and you kicking it all weekend and gonna play in the All Star game. Like, nah, that don't work. And you got to play the game, and then you come to the All Star game. Like that's the All Star game is a celebration of that, right?
Okay.
So Kawhi couldn't finish the regular season with his team. I mean, if it was
no, that's like 2 months later. I mean, he's
man, no, man,
and rehab and recouped.
No, you couldn't finish the season, and then on top of that, we paid you 3 years, 153, I think to be specific. So if you can't finish the regular season, there's no way you should don't even come talk to me. Don't even come talk to me about going to play for Team USA. No, I'm not going with it. I'm not going for that. So I don't think he should have been playing. Me personally, I don't think he should have been playing in the Olympics at all. Period. But for them to pull him out, and then the word was at least into the public that it was a Clippers and Team USA decision. That okay, maybe this isn't working out. Kawhi, just go take the rest of the summer, get ready. What's the clip from the Clipper standpoint? I agree. That makes 100% sense to me. But then your guy Lauren Frank comes out and says, "No, that was all Team USA saying Kawhi shouldn't be playing," and he's disappointed in the idea. Now, clearly, Lauren Frank is kind of trying to look after his guy and be like, he should have played and he should still be out there. But what's your thoughts on that situation? Is Lawrence Frank lying to us as well?
Yes, Cam, he's lying. Why wouldn't Team USA want Kawhi Leonard on their team if he was healthy? I mean, how does it benefit Team USA to send him back if he's a healthy player?
So does Kawhi, are you predicting already that Kawhi is not going to start the season for the Clippers?
Do I have to say the words? I mean, do you have to say the words?
Oh my goodness. So when do we see Kawhi? Do we see Kawhi at Christmas or Martin Luther King Day? What do you think?
Christmas.
I had this conversation facetiously in Dallas when it was announced that Kawhi is going to play with the Olympics. I was like, it didn't make sense to me then, and I was like, maybe they should just start him in in Christmas or Martin Luther King Day weekend and let him rest up. So, because if his body's only going to give you 60 games, maybe we get the best 60 games out of him from that point on. Than him playing a full season. I don't know. That made sense to me, and that was
That's
in
cool.
March.
That's cool if you're giving him $10 million, not when you're giving him $51 million a season. No, you play as many games as you're capable of playing.
But if he can't, if we know now in 3 seasons he hasn't finished a full season, it doesn't make sense to try to get a full season out of him. To me, it doesn't. They decided to pay him. They picked him over Paul George. Okay, he got 2 Finals MVPs, 2 Finals championships.
Wow, look at you looking all sounding all revisional now. You acting like this ship is sailed. Oh,
I'm just saying.
oh,
I don't understand, and maybe you
man.
can help me out with the Clippers.
The fans would like for you to hear you say the words on July 17th. This Kawhi Leonard ass ship is sailed. This is some damaged goods. We can't really get nothing out of him.
That's not what I said. You
heard
what I said.
Till January just to kind of try and get what we need out of him.
Tell me if that doesn't make sense. Tell me that doesn't make sense.
It completely doesn't make sense when you're paying someone $51 million a year. Absolutely
You want to get the most of your money. You want to get the most of your money. You want to get the most bang for your buck.
You want to get the most out of your money by having your star player play the most games possible.
You want him to play the games that matter.
Oh, okay.
So far, we ain't seen him play the games that matter.
That's cool at $25 million, Cameron. But that's not why you pay someone $51 million. You don't pay someone $51 million to do the Robert Horry thing and kind of wake up out of your nap in February and let me stretch for a little bit. Now I'm ready to get down the ball. It's playoff time. No, not for your franchise player.
No,
base of the franchise.
In the last 3 seasons, we've gotten 65 games out of this dude.
Okay, well.
Does it make sense?
Then why did you give him $153 million?
Well, that's another question. That's a question for another topic.
Gave him that so that he could be your franchise player and do all this stuff.
Again.
It's not to take a nap till January when your body's all good and rested. And
no. I don't want you to take a nap.
I'm ready to go off.
I want you working out with the masseuse. I want you working out with the tendon specialist. I want you in there getting your treatment every day. And so when you come in January, you're gonna have to.
Yeah, haven't they done that before and it just doesn't work?
No. Yeah. What they've done before is what you're trying to say is start in October and go hard in October all the way through.
But he's missed so much time all the time. Cameron, he misses so much time all the time. They've done every type of technique you're talking about. It just doesn't work. His knees are shot.
Again, we get 65 games out of them. Only 65 games. Let's 65 games from June, and let's back that up. That looks like January, February to me.
That sounds like March to me. What you're talking about?
No, 65 games. March is like 25 games, 30 games. I need.
But you're trying to make a playoff run, so you get that's
you're absolutely right.
Okay, so
you're absolutely right. By him starting in October, they have not.
That's just too much basketball to be played, huh? At $51 million a year.
Okay, leads me to my next question. Knowing that you have Kawhi Leonard, who hasn't played a full season in 3 years since the bubble, actually, how long the bubble? It seems like so long ago, doesn't it? It really does, but if you look at it, it's not that long ago in reality. But it does seem like in basketball world, it's been a long time, right? Okay. It's been a long time. That's the last time he's played through a full season.
Okay.
And it wasn't a full season. He played through, through the end of their season.
And then a long hiatus, and then the season started again, right? Right.
I mean, Anthony Davis did the same thing. So we hadn't seen.
We're not talking about Anthony Davis. We're talking about
We
Kawhi.
hadn't seen Street Clothes play that long either.
It
We
was the
hadn't seen
Kawhi.
Street Clothes
Kawhi conversation.
with his 3 months off either.
Because AD's actually balling for Team USA, which Kawhi's not. So continue with the Kawhi talk.
So yeah, the last time we seen him play, in the season on the court was in the bubble.
Okay.
So we need to do some modifications. We need to see if we can get him going from maybe January, maybe again, like I'm saying, Martin Luther King Day through the rest of the season. You got 5 months, bro. Can we get 5 solid months out of you?
Cam, I think the Clippers have done enough kitty gloves, prima donna stuff for Kawhi as they're gonna do. And in addition,
no, actually, they haven't. I mean, so
sorry, Cam, I wasn't finished. And in addition, giving him an additional $153 million. Nah, man, why don't you just get to work?
Knowing his history.
Nah, man.
Why did they turn around and offer Paul George 2 years, $60 million? Like, what was the logic? Do you understand the logic there?
No, you're closer with Ballmer and Ty Lue and him than I am. You tell me. I thought you was on the Ty Lue thread.
I don't know the logic. Like,
okay, I'm call your boy.
I mean, he's in Dubai right now. He's tied up right now. I don't think
right.
Long distance doesn't go through. Right. I can't call that. I can't call long distance.
You got the 199.
I don't got those minutes on my phone.
That's fair.
But 2 years, 60 mil. What? I mean, come on. If you're not gonna blow it up and like start all over, you kind of have to keep them together, right? I mean, that would only make sense. You don't pick the guy. You don't pick the guy who played the least games to give him the most money.
He's the most talented, right?
What's the best availability, Cleveland? What's the best ability?
I know the best ability is availability.
Yeah, and if your ass ain't available, you're not the best. You're not the best guy.
Okay, well, I hear you slowly closing the door on Kawhi, and so does Kawhi.
It's a question like why do they I'm with Paul George. Lawrence Frank confirmed it. Yeah, we started off at 2 years 60. Like what the hell are you guys thinking? Like the guy who has played the best for you, the most games for you, you offer him 30 mil and the other guy 50 mil? Like I don't get it. I'm confused. I'm confused at the logic here. And now you're going to tell me now if they're thinking it's like we want you ready to open up the season in October into a dome, and we want you to play through June or July. Like, come on, guys. We done seen this movie before. The last time he played through the end of the season was 2020. Men, by the time they get on the court again, that's 5 years.
Cameron, what I think you're saying in no uncertain terms is that the Clippers
I've lost faith in what they're doing.
Have no chance of being good for the next 6 or 7 years.
I'm saying I have no faith in what they're doing. I don't understand these moves. I don't understand the moves. You go get Kevin Porter Jr., which on the court, I understand. I mean, I understand the decision once you let Paul George go, but you can't give up $1 for 4 quarters and think that it has the same value. I don't understand the logic. I don't understand the logic. Paul George said he wanted to be there, and I'm talking about Paul George like he was Andrew Toney or somebody, which obviously that's not the case. But he was the better of your options, the best of your options, because at least he was available. Some games he didn't shoot a lot. Some games he, pandemic P, playoff P, whatever the situation may be, he was on the court. And now we have to. Now we're counting on somebody who hasn't been on the court. So it sounds like what's the definition of insanity?
Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result.
So let's start him again in week 4 or season 4 in October, and just cross our fingers that he makes it through June or July. Let's see how let's get some young talent around and let's see how that works out. Let's weaken the team.
Well, I think Ty Lue and his brain trust have drawn up some better plays. Ty Lue's a hell of a coach, so I think that they've kind of been in the lab, kind of.
Oh, you think they've been in the lab? You think he went to
and stuff.
Team USA to kind of pull some stuff out together, huh?
Well, I'm just saying, hey, you see them in different, modes and methods, and maybe Ty Lue is, the alchemist that can come up with a solution for all of this. What I see is that the Clippers will be progressively worse every year for the next 7 years, and then maybe they get a number 1 draft pick, and they draft Michael Owusu again. Start the whole thing all over again.
I have to eat this. I have to eat this. I have to eat this right now. He loves it. Okay, Bronny. Are you confident in what Grant Hill is doing leading this Team USA? I mean, you send Kawhi home for who knows why. You bring in Derek White instead of Jaylen Brown. Like, Jaylen Brown says this is a Nike decision. You say no. I wore Fila. Like, come on, Grant. Like,
no. I think that Grant's put enough talent around, has assembled enough talent to make this like a foregone conclusion. If they don't win the gold, it is clearly Kawhi Leonard's fault.
Again, you keep wanting to blame Kawhi Leonard, and he didn't play one game with them.
Clearly Kawhi Leonard's fault. With regards to the Derek White over Jaylen Brown, yeah, that was a Nike call.
Was that Kawhi? What did Kawhi have to do with that? Kawhi wear New Balance. Who was he talking to make that decision?
No, nobody. No, but as far as who the replacement is going to be, yeah, that was a Nike call. Grant Hill just fell on the grenade for that one, but yeah, that was a Nike call.
Have you got a chance to see Dillingham play at all?
Keep hearing about him. Haven't really seen anything because I don't make too much of Summer League, but I heard he was kind of balling a tad bit.
Made a few plays. I've seen what I've seen hasn't been great. Edie has been better than Dillingham. The moments I've seen, again, haven't seen or watched a full game.
And now that you're saying this, you know what the other problem that I kind of have with Summer League is that it gives like the cats that really get down like this false sense of security that they can ball in the league, and then the league starts and all of that playing against other 19 and 20-year-olds with a lot of talent, it just falls by the wayside.
And this is where I disagree with you, Cleveland. And you got to get out there and see what you're capable of. So you would rather see
get your sea legs under you, get to see what you can do against the best competition for that, demographic, but just don't internalize it so much that you think that is reflective of what's going to be happening at the next level.
So when Dame Lillard is playing in his Summer League games and he's shooting 3 from a logo, that wasn't something that the Portland Trailblazers could project?
No, that's great, but it doesn't translate necessarily to the next level. But I mean, we're talking about Dame Dollar. That's a top 75 player all time. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like Jabari Smith or Brandon Miller or
Well,
You know,
Jabari
some
Smith
players
needed a
have
couple
Shaden
seasons,
Sharp. You know, some players that have like this. Ooh,
but Shaden Sharp
incredible,
wasn't. He wasn't a what was he a lottery pick? He was 14, I
he was
think.
a lottery pick.
I think if I remember correctly. I hadn't heard of the kid, and what I did hear is he can jump high, very athletic, and that's what we saw on the court. He couldn't shoot. He was very athletic. He couldn't make free throws. And he was making plays by running the court and getting out of the oops. Well, he did
That
that in
didn't
summer
really
league.
translate. Yeah, it didn't really translate to the next level. I did it.
Right. So
I mean, one of the few players that I've seen is 206 Paulo. When he did the 360 in the game, they're like, okay, thank you for the audition. You got the job. And it translated. But all the rest of them cats that were like super balling, like, oh.
all right, man, we're gonna have to postpone our NBA talk. We're gonna have to postpone our NBA talk. We're gonna have to jump into some. What's up, Mr. Tyler Dragon? Thanks for tuning in to the Voice of the Fans, sir.
What's up? How y'all doing tonight?
We're doing well. The question is, how are you doing, sir? Pops?
Man, I am tired. Been a lot going on, and I'm leaving for Paris on Monday morning, and I haven't packed a single thing yet. And I'm gonna be gone for 3 weeks.
That's okay. You can do some shopping over there. I heard the shopping's pretty nice over there. You
Hey,
know, that USA, you got that company card, don't you?
You got to come prepared, man. I can't come with no clothes and empty suitcases. What you think?
Hey man, well, congratulations on your journey, man. By the way, how's the family, real quick, man?
They're doing good. We our power went out the last couple days, so that was a bad, but it's all good now. We got our power back up and running, and little man's good. He's I think calling my name downstairs. It's dinner time for him. It's not dinner time for me yet. You might hear my stomach growling during this show, though.
Well, we appreciate you for making time for us, man. You missed our 300 special, but appreciate you for coming on.
I missed the 300 special. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. You got life going on, man. You got life going on. You got to get some bags packed, though, man. Make sure you get some bags packed, and you got to leave room for shopping.
I do have to leave room for shopping. However, my wife might spend all our money, all our shopping money for enough for both of us. So I don't even know if I'm be able to have a chance to.
Well, that's even great that you can have her come out there and join you rather. So you're going to Paris, man. Congratulations. That deserves a round of applause, man. Covering what Olympics is this for you?
This is my second Olympics. It's gonna feel like my first though, because my first was Tokyo. There were no fans.
Oh,
it was right in the middle of COVID. And I mean, everybody always asks me how was Tokyo, and I have to tell them I saw Tokyo from a bus because we really didn't get to tour the city because everything was shut down. So I saw, all maybe the landmarks, but it was on a bus. Didn't really get to walk around much. However, the sushi though in Tokyo was amazing. But anyways, yeah, this is my second Olympics. It's gonna feel like my first though, because this time I made a point to really experience the city. And after the Olympics, I'm gonna take some time off and spend some time with family in Paris.
Well, enjoy that, man. Enjoy that. So covering the Olympics in Tokyo, was that like, did you cover the games at SoFi when it first opened up and no fans was in the building? That first year we did, I guess it was Anthony Lynn's last season.
So that was 2000. I was the Bengals beat reporter then, so I was covering the Cincinnati Bengals with no fans.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So it was weird. It was weird. It was like we were happy to see fans in the building because it was weird covering at SoFi Stadium, brand new building with not one fan in the building because it was the COVID year. That was very strange. But thanks for coming on the show. I wanted, since you're covering Olympics, man, let's talk the Olympics. Top events what are the top events that you're looking to cover? Like, track and field, I guess, would be mine. We were talking about Team USA earlier today, gymnastic, and I keep wanting to say Dominic Dawes, but it's not
Simone Biles.
Simone Biles. Boxing, is boxing of interest to you over Olympic boxing? Like, what are the events that you have your ticket already scheduled for?
So I'm biased, and yes, I'm a football reporter, but I'm also a track and field reporter at USA Today. So track and field is going to be where my home is for the second half of the Olympics. The first half, when there's no track and field, I kind of bounce around a little bit. Ironically, they have me doing rugby and reporting rugby a little bit because, there's some relation to football.
You're
And
right.
hopefully, I think maybe some basketball as well. But I'm there because of my experience as a track and field athlete. So track and field is my bread and butter. And that's why I'm being Paris, covering track and field. So I'm biased. Track all day.
Okay. How many USA guys are going over there? Oh, excuse me. Let the people know where they can find you and follow your work while you're over there in Paris.
Yeah, you can follow me at the Tyler Dragon on Twitter, and you can just go on usatoday.com/Tyler Dragon, and you'll be able to see my author page. Either one of those two avenues, you can find my work. I tweet fairly often. I'm going to tweet a whole lot more while I'm in Paris. But yeah, you can find me in there. I think we're sending around 30 overall, people to Paris. And that's combined with, photographers, reporters, and editors.
Oh, man.
And videographers as well.
Okay, yeah. So you guys gonna have it covered.
Yeah.
So track and field. What's the story? Is it the sprints? Are you a distance guy? Are you literally the field, the javelin, the how am I having the rock? How am I having a brain fart with the
shot put?
The shot put.
Oh my goodness, that hurts my heart because you said the rock.
You know exactly what I was talking about, though.
Wow.
What is
You gonna say the frisbee too, or what?
Oh wow! Well, I wanted to. While you making jokes, I wanted to ask you about the football. When does football start? USA football, because I saw some videos. USA football getting ran over a few weeks ago. I didn't even try to track it down, but is the USA that happening this year? Are they playing football? I know you mentioned rugby.
Flag football is supposed to debut at the LA Olympics in 2028. And there might even be NFL athletes in that competition. I know like Tyreek Hill and some other NFL players have, said that they would like to be a part of the 2028 Olympics in Los Angeles.
Tyreek Hill might be a little busy by then. He might
hey, I know where you're going on that one. I know where you go. I'm not even going to go there. But, Tyreek Hill might be a good flag football player with that speed.
Well, I'm sure it would be. I mean, just the wiggle little guy too. So, so are you into the sprints? Is that what you're going to be covering most? Are you doing the distance? Are you covering distances? What do you?
I'll cover all the events, but fans, like you said, the first thing you said is sprints. Casual fans, that's the first thing they'll say too. So, if you're a casual track and field fan, you probably know Sha'Carri Richardson. You probably maybe heard of Noah Lyles.
Right.
You probably maybe heard of Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone.
Yeah.
And maybe Gabby Thomas.
Yeah.
Maybe a Sharika Jackson from Jamaica. So the sprints, I'm definitely going to cover those. But then I'll cover all the events. Shot put, discus. I'm a former thrower myself, so I love covering
the discus or the shot put.
Okay. Both. Okay. So we have a shot putter, a U.S. shot putter named Ryan Krauser, who's a two-time Olympic champion and world record holder. He can be a first three-time Olympic champion in the shot put ever in the history of the event. Valerie Allman and discus won the Olympics in Tokyo. Could be the first ever American to win the discus 2 times in the women's discus at the Olympics. So I'm interested in all the events. My favorite are probably, I would say, the sprints and the shot put and discus, but the 800 is going to be good. The 400 hurdles, the 400, flat 400, 1500, it's all going to be good. Long jump, triple, love it all.
So, okay, I guess I'm gonna call myself a casual fan right now since
You're a casual fan. I know you are.
Since you done outed me already. Sha'Carri Richardson, obviously she didn't make the Olympics. Would that be in 2020? So her, she looked a lot more focused in the trials, leading up to the trials and the was it the national competitions even last year, leading up to the trials this year. She looked a lot more focused. Cut out all the weave, the color weave, all the nails extensions. She just looked like she was ready to run a race. That is that the best story going into it, or is it Simone Biles with with her being 28 on her third Olympics to being one of the oldest gymnasts we've seen? What is the best story that you're going to be covering going into these Olympics?
That's a really good question. And Sha'Carri Richardson is right up there at the top. I don't know if you two know this, but okay, so the whole thing happened in 2021. And I actually broke that story. It's the biggest story I've ever broken.
Okay.
Sha'Carri Richardson, got suspended for 1 month because she smoked marijuana. THC is what they call it. So from that point, I can remember where I was at when it happened. When I broke the story at a wedding in Chicago.
Oh, wow.
I was on vacation.
You look at you working
working at a wedding.
Yeah.
And
when wife had to like that. Wife had to like that one.
Hey, I mean, it wasn't our wedding. It was a friend's wedding.
Right.
If it was our wedding, I probably wouldn't have broke the story. But from that moment and seeing that her fall from grace that quickly, because she burst onto the scene from that Olympic trials. Like, not that many people knew who Sha'Carri Richardson was prior to the. They call it the 2020 Olympic trials, but happened in 2021 because it was delayed because of COVID.
Sure.
So from that point forward, I really didn't know. Her career could have went either way. You could have never heard from her again, or she could have maybe been a middle of the road track athlete, or she could have been what she is now, a world champion and now Olympian. And to see her progress from that moment to, the first year after that suspension, she was taking like last place in races. And from that point to now being a world champion and on the cusp of her first Olympics and being a favorite in the 100 meters, it has to be one of the best, redemption stories at the Olympics. That combined with, I'll even give you another sport, gymnastics, Simone Biles.
Sure.
The stress that she was feeling, the mental anxiety, and for her to, I was in Tokyo. She was the biggest athlete at the Tokyo Olympics and just really didn't compete because
the yippies. The twisties is what she called. Yeah, I was busting her chops.
And there are a lot of people in your position saying, "Oh, she should just go out there and compete." But gymnastics is weird. I won't say weird, unique, because when you have the twisties and you're going up and doing flips, and you really don't have a sense of where you're at and no control over your body, you can literally die because you can land on your neck,
head,
head. You can land on your leg wrong, arm, break an arm, leg. So that could be life and death. It seems, you should just suck it up and do it, but it's a little bit different.
Sure.
And so I think she raised awareness to just mental health. And now that she is coming back, and mind you, she's quote unquote, I think she's 26? Yeah. And that's quote unquote old for gymnasts, because most gymnasts are like
teenagers,
16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 21 is kind of, you're 21. That's kind of old for a gymnast. And for her to be able to come back from that and being an quote unquote old gymnast and the favorite to win a gold medal again, she's the greatest gymnasts of all time. So that's a tremendous story in itself. Obviously the U.S. basketball team is going to be a tremendous story on both sides. I was not of the mindset that Caitlin Clark should be on the U.S. women's basketball team. I think she's going to be a fabulous WNBA player and probably a future Olympian. But right now, she's not among the best 12, 13, 14, 15, top 20 in the WNBA right now. She will get there. Right. And then I love watching the men's basketball team play, especially this year. Like, this is LeBron's probably last hurrah, Steph Curry's last hurrah, Durant's
last hurrah. It's only hurrah. Steph hadn't.
Yeah, Steph and LeBron. I mean, they seem like they're enjoying playing with each other in exhibition games. So I love watching that. And so I think the three sports I'm most interested in watching: basketball, gymnastics, and the best for last, track and field.
Well, this is going to be LeBron's final championship of his career. So,
are you sure? Are you sure? You see how Anthony Davis is playing with the U.S. team. Now, they need to translate that. The Lakers need to make a big-time trade because they can't run it back. You see, I got my LA hat on. Don't do this.
They got Bronny out there. They letting Bronny run and get ready for the regular season.
Bronny is a project, and they're probably it's a long-term project, and that's okay.
So you're bought. Sound like you're bought into JJ Redick and on the rebuild program.
I don't care if it's JJ Redick. I don't care if it's Phil Jackson. I don't care if it's Pat Riley, the best coaches of all time. Brett Auerbach, you can name them down the list. John Wooden, for all I care. The Lakers need another star player. I don't care who the coach is. If they don't get another star player, they're not going anywhere. They need to trade D'Angelo Russell and maybe another player and some draft picks for a star player. A reliable star player.
I didn't bring you on the show to talk Lakers, but since
you asked,
since you brought it up, I don't think I asked about the Lakers, but since you brought it up, why did DeMar DeRozan decide to go to Sacramento? Why did Klay Thompson decide to go to Dallas? Why did KCP decide to go out to Orlando?
Lakers don't need KCP. DeRozan wanted more money. Klay Thompson, I think he just wanted to play in Dallas. He
wanted to play in Dallas. He wanted to go live in Dallas versus Southern California. That's what you want the people to do.
No, don't say that. No. Klay Thompson already has a house in Southern California. He didn't want to pay those Southern California taxes, and he wanted to cash in on that money at the very end of his career. And he didn't want that pressure. Klay Thompson might not even start in Dallas. Klay Thompson was going to start in LA and be the third option. At this point in his career, I don't know if Klay Thompson's a third option and a starting caliber third option. So he has less pressure.
He probably didn't want the blame that's going to be coming to him when they don't end up when they end up back in the play-in tournament. There was probably some of that.
You sound like a Laker hater.
I'm a realist.
You sound like a Laker hater with your Syracuse shirt on.
That's right. Go Cuse. Go Cuse, man. What you know? Go.
When's the last time they won anything?
Hey, I gave them a lot of money. They got me a certificate in May. I got a lot of money, or they got a lot of money.
Carmelo Anthony won a national championship back in 2003.
Yeah, I was in junior high.
So where does golf, tennis, or baseball, where do they fall on your? You didn't mention either one of those sports. Where do they fall on your or peripheral? That's what the other 29 guys are out there for.
Well, see, with baseball, the major league guys don't play. With tennis, sometimes the tennis stars play. I think tennis is exciting, but when as a fan, I would enjoy watching tennis, especially the Coco Gauffs if she plays, and the star players in tennis. But as a reporter there covering the Olympics, I really don't have a chance to watch the other sports. because you're just so uber focused and uber busy on the sports that you're covering.
Sure.
So I really don't get a chance to cover a lot of the sports I would like to just go watch as a fan.
Okay, so you talked about the breaking the story with Shakari Richardson. What is the best story that you've seen or uncovered um, at the Olympics? So that would have been in Tokyo. I mean, obviously it was a little challenging because of COVID and there was some restrictions going on. But what is there a storyline, a particular storyline that maybe you didn't cover personally, but you found intriguing?
I love a Thing Mo's story back in the Tokyo Olympics. She was the first American woman to win the women's 800 since like the 1960s. I think 1968. Unfortunately, she didn't make this year's team. She got tripped up at the Olympic trials. Yeah, and that was a huge story. That in Tokyo, that was a good story to cover. I would say Ryan Krauser winning the shot put for the second time. His grandfather had just died, and he dedicated his Olympic victory to his grandfather. So that was a good story. And then it's always fun with the Jamaicans, like their reporters and their athletes. When in Jamaica, track and field is like how football is here.
Number one.
Yeah. So how they cover track, like their reporters, their athletes, it's just fun being around them because they take it like so. And obviously, everybody takes it seriously, but you can tell there's just that extra, like that's their pride. So when their athletes win, like they really go all out. So seeing Elaine Thompson-Herah win the 100 and 200 at the Olympics, that was a really good story. I wish I was, a reporter when Usain Bolt was running because it would have been just bananas. Jamaica doesn't have a Usain Bolt, but just covering, Elaine and, her peak was fun too.
I mean, Sherika Jackson, right? That's her name.
Yeah, Sherika Jackson, she's the reigning world champion in the 200 meters. Now, she's best in 200. She's good in the 100.
Yeah, she won the 100. She came from behind and won the 100 to make the Olympics in the trials, didn't she?
No, she won the 100. I don't know if she came from behind,
she came from behind to win that one. But
she hasn't been running as well as like Sha'Carri Richardson in the 100. And her season's been up and down. In fact, she got a minor injury at the last meet that she just ran in. So I don't know what type of form she's in. If she's in top form, she's definitely the favorite in the 200 and is probably a legitimate threat to win the 100 as well over Sha'Carri Richardson. I think that's Sha'Carri's main competition in the 100.
Well, okay,
if she's healthy.
Okay, Sha'Carri didn't make the 200.
No.
What's the girl who set the record of the 400 hurdles?
What? Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. I just had a brain fart, but yeah. Now she is the Simone Biles of women's track and field. That's how dominant she is. She breaks the world record like every time she runs. And the crazy thing is her 400-meter hurdle time would qualify in the Olympics for the 400. So she would beat Olympians running the 400 while she's running over hurdles.
Man, that's special.
And if the 400 hurdles and the 400 were like separated by like a week apart, she would be able to win both events. She's that good.
But they're only a couple days apart.
Yeah, and she's only going to run the 400 hurdles. My educated guess is in 2028 she's going to run the 400.
Just because she'll be trained up. Now, if she's the Simone Biles is already of age. Excuse me, they just interviewed Bronny after scoring 12 points tonight.
Oh, yeah. See, Bronny's getting better. There you go.
Hey, I'm trying to tell you. Got to praise the. You got to praise the progress. That's what I'm telling my man. Cleveland says Bronny needs to come down with the hamstring injury and sit him down for a little while. I'm telling him, let the man play and praise some progress.
Cleveland, you've been quiet this whole time. You good?
Man, I have just been patiently, eagerly waiting for my opportunity. I didn't know that you were a track dude to this extent, and I had two things that I was very eagerly wanting to ask. Number one, I had the pleasure. I don't know if you saw the series on Netflix called Sprint.
Yeah, of course I watched it.
That was super amazing. When that ended, I was like, oh my God, how could this be over? It was so intense. It was so like into like what sprinters are like. And they're so much like boxers, except for you have to go to the meet and get down. It's not a bunch of sponsors and promoters telling you, oh, you can't run this race. You can't run this race. No. We're getting to the line and we're going to get down and see what's up. And everybody just wants to do it. And all of the mental mind games that kind of go into just like, I don't talk to that dude, or I say whatever to that dude. And I remember Noah Lyles going to the English dude in the 200, and they asked him, who's going to win the race? He's like, oh, no, I'm going to win the race. And then they asked the English dude, well, are you going to break the record? And they asked, no, what's the record? And they tell him, it's like, oh, no, you'll break that. Have more confidence in yourself. You're not going to beat me.
And
confidence in yourself. And he broke it. It's like if you're running against me, you have to be better than you've ever been to even compete with me, right? So for me, going into the Olympics, like you said, Jamaica is so serious about sprinting, and they have 3 women that are all in different facets or different stages in their life, and then the coaching that kind of went back and forth. They kind of left like the starting program that they came from and have had various levels of success or whatnot. And like you said, Sha'Carri kind of coming back into her own and kind of like reestablishing her dominance in the 100. So question 1, do you think Noah Lyles is going to get the double, the 100 and the 200? Question 2, do you think that there is an opportunity, because track and field is so much bigger in Europe, do you think that there was an opportunity in the United States to have kind of like a Grand Slam type of track and field like events where there's like 4 distinct like meets that are like super popular and super big that would kind of catapult track and field to the next level, because it seems like they have stars that can kind of fill that void. But first and foremost, can Noah get the 100 and the 200? And secondly, can track and field take that next step in America and be bigger?
Your questions are very timely. So Jamaica has a new runner named Kishane Thompson, and he is the world leader in the 100. He's come out of nowhere. And if you look him up, he looks like he can play football. He's tall, like 6'1", 6'2"-ish, and he's like built. He looks almost like Derrick Henry running the 100. Like, look him up if you have time. Like, it looks like he should go play football. Now, that's Noah Lyles' probably biggest threat in the 100, but he has the 200. As long as he's focused and locked in, he's easily the best 200-meter runner in the world. Now, the Olympics is a strange place, though. Track and field, to me, is one of the hardest sports in the world, if not the hardest, because it's all on you. You don't have teammates. You can't rely on anybody else, and it's just you. There's no politics involved. There's no referee involved. There's no human error. We're in the line. When this gun goes off, whoever is first in the finish line. And if it's not up to discussion who wins, because there's an electronic camera that tells you who wins. Same with the throwing events. No politics. Who throws the furthest? There's electronic camera to dictate who throws the first. So, and with that in mind and the pressure, like Noah Lyles felt the pressure at the Tokyo Olympics. That's why he didn't win. And there's athletes that feel the pressure of Olympics and they won't perform as good as they would at the Olympic trials or regular meet. So you have to be mentally locked in and mentally strong. I mean, just look at Simone Biles. Mentally, she was struggling and it affected her. Now, Noah, since then, like you just said it, he is so mentally strong now. He has not one, but 2 therapists. And you could just see, like, when he said that to the English sprinter, you already knew he won. Just not even running, just mentally, mentally, the psychological advantage he had. Oh, yeah, you're going to break the record. Like, come on, have more confidence in himself. He beat him right there before the race even started. The race was over because just that mentally psychological advantage as an athlete. If you say that to somebody, like, oh damn, he's probably
and the person knows that you mean it.
Yeah, and then just the way he's like so comfortable in his skin, like Noah Lyles, he's out there. He likes the attention on himself, but then he backs it up. He's like Usain Bolt in that way. Like Usain Bolt, when he stepped on the line, like he would do this Bolt stuff. And it was like the other athlete is like, well, all right, who's going to get second and third? We know this guy's going to win. So you have to be like mentally strong to be very at an elite level and to be the elite of the elite. And then so that's your first answer. And then your answer to your second question, Michael Johnson is actually starting a track league called Grand Slam. I think it's Grand Slam League. And that is beginning, I believe, in 2025. And the first meet's actually here in LA. And it's going to be like big meets where the top athletes in the world, they compete against each other. And it's going to be like on TV. It's going to be in big market cities. They're promoting in LA right now. And I think that's a really good start to, build the popularity in the United States with track and field. However, the only knock I have with his league is they don't have field events. And so you're cutting half a track and field off with that. And then Serena Williams' husband, I'm forgetting his name, Alexia. I don't want to butcher his name. But Serena Williams' husband is actually starting a women's track and field league. And their first meet is actually this year in September in New York. And over the next few years, you're going to see a push of, trying to promote track and field athletes and the sport in America, because the Olympics are here in 2028 and the American NBC, all the sponsors, they want to get money in the back end. So when you have Olympics coming here in 2028, U.S. spent a whole lot. Olympics cost a whole lot of money. So they want to get that money recouped in the back end. So the best thing to do that is highlight Simone Biles, highlight Sha'Carri Richardson, highlight a Noah Lyles, highlight a Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone, highlight a Grant Holloway. And you highlight all them, have fans being familiar with these athletes, have them knowing that, some of their personal stories. Then that's going to get casual fans into it. And then when there's meets in LA, like the Grand Slam League or, the meeting, all the women's track and field league in New York, fans are going to come out and watch. And then that's going to build up the excitement and the anticipation for the 2028 Olympics.
Gotcha.
Yeah, LA's in full swing for that one, for the preparation for that one.
They're already starting. It's crazy. 2028 Olympics are already they're already planning for it.
Tyler, man, I know you got things to do. I know you got bags to pack and mouths to feed, man. So I want to thank you. Let the people know one more time where they can find you and follow you during your trip over to Paris.
Yeah, you can follow me at the Tyler Dragon on Twitter and go to usatoday.com, my author page. You can just type in usatoday.com/Tyler Dragon and find me, and you can read all my latest work. But I appreciate y'all having me on. I always try to make time for y'all show. Next time, we'll be able to talk some football. which I'm looking forward to because I feel like I haven't talked football in so long.
Well, let me know when you have some time. We're gonna have to get your prediction before the season starts. So, how you gonna be over
back
there for 3 weeks?
I'll be back August 15th. I'm be in Paris almost a month, and I might be speaking French on my time back. So
Yeah.
you might have to test me on it.
My fans need some education, so we'll appreciate that. Give Tyler, thank you for tuning in, big dog. Enjoy the trip, travel safe, and we'll catch you on the way back.
All right,
bro.
Y'all have a good one.
Thank you. That's pretty cool. Get some Olympic talks in there. You looking forward to the Olympics?
Again, like I was telling Tyler, man, like I was kind of like so because like it's but if you watch the Netflix Sprint, man, it is like it's so serious, man. And like we were saying, like it's just like boxing, except for there's no politics to it. There's no like you can't duck anybody, and nobody wants to be ducked. Everybody wants to know, like, am I the fastest man in the world? Like, and I will prove it right here on this line. And it's just intense.
So while we're on Olympics, what is your most memorable Olympic moment? What is
Michael Johnson,
Ben Johnson, 1996, Michael Johnson in the gold shoes, running away from the field.
1932 in the 200, yeah.
Yeah, he was tall, man. He had tall and long strides. That's what I don't want to say that birthed Usain Bolt, but very similar, tall, lanky, long strides. They got that done. I mean that helps. Usually, before then, sprinters have been kind of short, compact guys, right? Until he kind of changed the mold. My favorite Olympic moment, I guess the one that stands out was Carl Lewis winning his 7 medals in '84. Or Flojo in '88. Like that was rest in peace. I mean her performance. I'm kind of what do you think about Jackie joining Kersey in the triathlon? She did the triathlon, right? Or did the decathlon?
Yeah, heptathlon.
Heptathlon, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that really gets sprinting is great. I mean, when I ran track, I ran to stay just to stay in shape. But I ran sprinting events. I did the 400 because I was forced to, but I did not like it. I only ran the 200. Like 200 was cool. That was just long enough to come around the curve. And
my dad used to always say the 400 was punishment for sprinters. If you acted up or didn't work hard, they'd make you run the 400.
Yeah, the 400, I was forced to run it. I did not like that one.
Whoa. Yeah.
But I don't think those heptathletes. How do you say? I don't think they get enough respect or credit. Because if you can would you rather do one thing great or would you rather do multiple events very good? Like that's what it comes down to. And I mean that's more of an athlete, right? Like I was serious when we talked Dan and Dave a few weeks ago. Like Dan and Dave, like they need to reinvent that. I mean, I think that would be not only for nostalgia purposes, but that'll get some more publicity because that's if you're able to do multiple things, then one thing. I mean, you should get that deserves a little bit more credit. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, if you do a lot of things, at an 85, 90% level, as opposed to just one thing really exceptionally well, you're a more well-rounded, athlete.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So it was cool to have him on. Definitely follow Tyler. Like you say, it wasn't his first time on the show, so see what he's talking about when he's over there in France. I mean, France it'll be cool, man. They're gonna go all out for it, and it'll be interesting. Um, Another reason I'm trying to get back to the West Coast of Southern California because
Oh, for that event. Yeah.
I mean the Olympics in 2028. I mean there's LA 28. They've been LA 28 for the last 2 years. For I mean I was going to all jokes aside, I was going to 2 years ago. I was to LA 28 prep events. Like they was already on this. Like they're redoing the city for this for the Olympics. Like I've been there a couple of years, but they didn't have the streetcars going from the airport straight down the middle of Crenshaw Boulevard to Leimert Park. That wasn't happening, but it should be well running now. But that was probably the foresight that they were working on for the Olympics in 2028 when it was announced. You can get off there kind of like I want to say compared the light rail going down Martin Luther King Boulevard, but very similar. Um, you can get off the airplane, and take a streetcar from the airport straight down uh, Crenshaw Boulevard. After the space shuttle, I don't know if you remember the space shuttle was drugged down Crenshaw Boulevard to its new.
I do vaguely remember that. I thought it was the freeway. No, it
So
was.
it went over the freeway. It was a whole that was a whole 2 day thing where they drug it. Obviously, it's not. It wasn't moving. They drug it from there. It landed in the airport. A plane towed it. You know, it flew on the back of another plane. Landed at the airport, and they drug it. They cut down all the trees that they had planted 10, 15 years ago. Cut down all the trees that they had planted along their route. They went right down. I want to say Century Boulevard. It's not. I think both are Century Boulevard. Shit. What was the damn Florence? It went down Florence Boulevard. Cent- no, it wasn't Century. I'm having a brain fart. What street it went down and then turned left on Crenshaw Boulevard. But on Crenshaw Boulevard, they turned, which is like uh, 6 lanes. They cut down all the trees that they had planted in the median. Took down all the street signs, all the street lights. Took all the street lights down because I'll send you a picture of it. The space shuttle went from one sidewalk to the other sidewalk, and we're talking about 6 lanes, dog. It had 3 lanes plus a turning lane, 2 turning lanes. It was 6 lanes all the way down, and the way they moved that thing was so it was crazy. It was on some hydraulic lifts that they lifted it up here to to avoid the street sign or a tree or a building, and then they level it out, and then they have to turn it. They kind of twist it and turn it here and level it. It was sitting on hydraulics, all doing it all the way down to the science center. But where they couldn't do that today because now they have the train going down the center of Crenshaw Boulevard, and then they built these little hubs for like the stations. So they couldn't even do that today, but that was only meant for a one-time event, a one-time deal anyway. But yeah, they've been prepping. The city of Los Angeles has been prepping for that. Outside LAX, they built a whole neighborhood that literally tore down a whole neighborhood, kicked people out of the neighborhood so they can build parking and then a station for this kind of a main central station, if you will, for this. I don't even know what they call it. I call it a streetcar because it went. I don't want to call it a train. I think train kind of go underground, but this is more of a streetcar ish deal. I'm interested to go back and see what it looks like. But yeah, they've been working on the city of Los Angeles has been working on LA 28 for a long time. So yeah, to go back there and see, that would be the first Olympics I ever got to cover. But that's something I'd be looking forward to doing. So kudos to Tyler. Kudos to Tyler. So we was talking about Bronny. Let's speed through this. We talked about the Clippers. Let's go on. Let's talk some NFL. Brandon Aiyuk asked for a trade. Should the Niners trade him? And if so, who would be the best fit for the Brandon Aiyuk?
Brandon Aiyuk is not going to get a trade.
I mean, he requested a trade. Why do you think he requested a trade?
He's been in the Super Bowl 2 of the last 3 years, and they have every intention of going back to the Super Bowl this year. You can talk all that talk next year. There's no trading Brandon Aiyuk this year. They're too close. They're overtime away from winning a Super Bowl. No.
And with the quarterback that you have no respect for.
I don't, but Brandon Aiyuk is an integral part of that team, and he's going to stay.
So a Super Bowl, a team favored to go to the Super Bowl, you have no respect for the quarterback.
How many times do we have to have this conversation? He's a system quarterback.
I mean, I was trying to give you a break, Cleveland, and hopefully to come to the senses of Japan could see how.
No, man, no. I've been starting. It's that time. I'm starting to get into my studies a little bit more intricately. Yeah, man, he's still a system quarterback, but they should still get to the Super Bowl. So
with the system quarterback,
yeah. So Brandon, you can't just say I don't want to be here anymore until you pay me. No. You can do all that stuff next year, not this year.
If you were to get traded, who would be the best fit for him? Cardinals, Chargers, Bills, Steelers.
If he were to get traded, the best fit for him would be the Buffalo Bills.
Not the Los Angeles Chargers. He'd go there and be the number one receiver.
They like to run the ball a lot.
Who would you, if you could pick one, who would you want more, T. Higgins or Brandon Aiyuk?
Probably Brandon Aiyuk.
Over T. Higgins, who's bigger, taller?
T's cool, but Brandon's a little bit more dynamic. I don't think that we've actually seen all that he can really actually do in San Francisco because he's in that system. But what he does significantly well. But I think that he has a few more routes that he can run in the route tree and a few other things that he can do. But we say that a lot, and let us not forget, for number 2 receivers that want to be a number 1 receiver, it's far different being a number 1 receiver. You remember our guy Alvin Harper wanted to be a number 1, went to Tampa Bay, came crawling back to the Cowboys to be a number 2. It's just too much pressure, and you're just not as good. The level of expectation far exceeds your talents at times. So him wanting to be a number 1 somewhere and be the guy, he doesn't really actually want to be that, but that's where the money is at. But that's not this year.
I think if he went anywhere other than the Chargers, he'd be missing the quarterback that he has. He'd be missing if he went to the Cardinals, if he went to the Bills, if he went to the Steelers, he'd be missing
the Cardinals. Are you kidding me? They have Maserati Marv and Brandon Aiyuk. You better be scared. You better be very scared.
But you want to get a second baseman some respect now?
With Brandon Aiyuk and Maserati Marv, you can keep him upright. Yeah, you should be scared.
He ain't Brock Purdy.
Oh no, Kyler's better than Brock Purdy.
Oh, come
and he's the shortstop. Come on, man. Come on. You talking about throwing a football? Who would you rather have running your offense, Kyler Murray or Brock Purdy? Come on, man.
How many NFC championships has Kyler Murray played in? Huh?
He's played in 0.
Oh, Okay. So why would I rather have him
I am
over
100%
Brock Purdy,
confident
who's played in 2
because
years?
he can throw the football way better than Brock Purdy.
Oh, can he?
Yeah.
So you rather have Jeff George over your guy John Elway?
No.
I mean, Jeff
John
George
Elway,
can throw the ball.
John Elway played in 5 Super Bowls. What are you talking about?
Jeff George he can throw the ball as well. He can throw the ball pretty nicely too.
Yeah, that's not a cool comparison at all.
I mean, okay, would you rather have Jeff George over Cutler?
Yeah. You saw what Jeff George could do in Minnesota when he was throwing to Randy Moss? I mean, damn.
Did they go to the NFC Championship that year?
They went to the divisional. They went to the NFC Championship with
Randall Cunningham.
Randall and Culpepper.
Yeah, not Jeff George.
But they got pretty close.
Not Jeff George.
Okay. That doesn't mean that Kyler Murray can't throw the football better than Brock Purdy, who throws the football 5 yards at a time.
Can he lead? Is he a better leader? Can he play the position better? Because you can throw the ball, could DeMarcus Cousins or DeMarcus Russell throw the ball 50 yards from his knees? I mean, there's a lot more that goes into playing quarterback position.
Quite an extreme example. Kyler's already proven that he can get his team to the playoffs. So, and I'm not even a Kyler fan.
I know, and I'm so hearing you defend this guy. That just talked about your disdain for Brock Purdy.
But if he had Maserati Marv and Brandon Aiyuk as his wide receivers, yeah, I think he could do some things.
Well, he has half of that. He has half of that. I know you're not a fan of Hard Knocks, but have you seen the Hard Knocks with the Giants? Like their offseason?
I've seen the conversation that the general manager had with Saquon. Yeah, that was quite disrespectful.
Oh my goodness gracious! How does this dude have a job?
How did they let that get to the?
Well, I think we're just gonna not offer you and let you go see the market. What are you talking about? What?
And then bring it back to us, and we'll see if we'll match it. Like,
yeah, go. All right, sweetheart, go to the club and see if you can get some numbers tonight, and then let me know how that goes, and we'll talk about going out.
Remember the last person that did that in the NBA?
I mean, who's done it? Who are you speaking of?
Mark Cuban told Steve Nash to go out and see if you can get a better deal. You came back and said, Phoenix gave us a better deal. He said, yeah, we can't match that.
Which was bonehead to begin with. Phoenix was done for letting them go to Dallas, and Dallas was done for letting them leave. That was bonehead. But yeah, like, come on, this is what you're doing.
You tell someone you want to be a Giant for life, and you sacrifice all of these things.
Right. So yes. Typically, I am on the side. I don't know. I'm just kind of partial. I talk about players should take less money and to build a team around them, but when the dude is like, do you want to be a Giant for life, have your name in the Ring of Honor, or do you want to take $1 million and go somewhere else? What? Like, no, wait, hold on. Like he's thinking like this isn't Lawrence Taylor Giants that we're talking about. We're not talking about the Giants who've been to 2 Super Bowls in 4 seasons. That's not what we're talking about here. Or the Giants, not even the Giants, the Tom Coughlin Giants who beat the New England Patriots twice. This is not the team we're talking about. Like, I think you guys got a false sense of reality of who you actually are.
Yeah. And who your best player is by far. It's not even close who their second best player is.
Like, no, second best player. Who was better than Saquon?
That's what I'm saying. Like, their second best player is not even close to Saquon.
And I mean, the owner said it. The owner said it like he's by far the most popular player on the team. Like, I will not be happy if we lose this dude. Well, sign the dude. Like, what do you want? Like, what are you looking for? And then for it to come back and the dude says, "Oh no, that's too steep." just tell me you're not going to a division rival. What? Yeah, if I was
you don't want to pay him, and then you want to put all these like stipulations on him, like, well, don't go to this team, well, don't go to that team, because it would hurt us.
If I was Saquon, I would have went to those guys too. I would have went right down the street to the Eagles myself, just so I could see you guys twice a year. Just so I don't have to move, I can keep my same house. Excuse me, take a train into work every day.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, it's a commute, but it's a doable commute under 2 hours. It's a commute. Bronny James, 12 points, 5 of 11, and they're celebrating because the Lakers win. Hugs after the game. Entered. He made 2 3-pointers, 2 of 5. Entered the game 0 of 15 from deep. Getting post game interviews and all that. Yeah, big guy. Yeah, that situation that made the owner made them look like buffoons, dog. Like Joe Shane, like they fumble Saquon Barkley. I hope Saquon goes and kills him too. Usually I'm not that I'm for the team, but I think you can work that situation out. These guys just say, well, we're not going to give you an offer. We're going to let you go explore the market and just are you willing to come back to us? Like, yeah, I would have went somewhere else too. I might, he had to call them. In fact, he did call them. And that was, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I want to say I was disappointed, but that made me really look at these guys like, you guys have overvaluating who you are, who you've been. Like the Giants ain't them. The Giants ain't been them. So I don't know.
Yeah, you know how I feel about superstar preferential treatment, right? And you treat your superstars differently. You just don't treat your best player like that.
Yeah. You can't treat.
Well, I don't want to pay you this much, but go find me somebody that will pay you this much, and let me see if I feel like paying you this much.
Yeah, no,
that's not how this works, man.
Yeah, no, you got to pay your guys. So I'm happy. I'm rooting for Saquon to get 300 all-purpose yards against the Giants. Both times they play each other. The Chiefs receiver Worthy healing from a hamstring. Andy Reid told us. I mean, he said this hamstring happened in rookie OTAs minicamp. That was 6 weeks ago. Do you think he's going to be a factor for this team this season?
Yeah.
You think Worthy's going to be a factor? I'm not sure about that. He's dwelling, he don't have a lot of meat on his bones, so a little hamstring injury hurting him already. Can he make 17 weeks, 18 weeks?
I mean, Cam, when you run that fast, I mean, you're going to have hamstring issues. You just have to try and, manage them as best you can. I mean, what's our guy, Deshaun Jackson, had him his whole career.
Well, he didn't work out. Or nothing.
Our guy, John Ross III, had him his whole career. Hamstrings always hurting. 3-4 games. Get him back. Play 3 or 4. Julio Jones had the same thing. Hamstring all the
time. Who gets paid first? Dak or Tua?
Tua.
So they're gonna make Dak actually go. I mean, we just talk about the what the Giants did with Saquon. They're gonna make Dak go the whole season without and become a free agent.
Yeah.
Dak better whack him over the head for $75 million. Not that he deserves it, but he better whack him over the head hard. I'm praying for him to stay healthy, and he don't come down with it, blow out his leg or. Just praying that he stays healthy because they're not treating Dak. I mean, they got lucky when they made a 4th round pick, and he became your franchise quarterback. And you guys don't want to take care of dude. Like, Come on, you already lucked up to get him in the first place. And who are you going to replace him with? What caliber player do you think that you're going to replace your fourth round the guy you drafted in the fourth round who became your franchise quarterback? You think those guys fall off trees? Like, what are you guys doing, Dallas? Like, again, Tua was number 5. Tua was number 5. So I think the Dolphins have a little bit more. I mean, Tua's had, nasty injuries. But they have more. I think they can protect. They can hide behind their decision not to pay Tua more than the Dallas Cowboys can hide behind their decision not to pay Dak Prescott. What's your thoughts on that?
Definitely so. Like you said, Tua's had a history of having injuries and being a little bit on the fragile side of things. Dak has not had that same issue. You can kind of, point to some of Dak's lack of success in the playoffs, but you can't even say that about Tua. He's only played in one playoff game. So,
he didn't win. Yeah, I don't get what they're doing. What the logic is in Dallas, but they're gonna have to live with it, man. Cleveland, we got the fantasy football draft coming in, less than probably a month away. Or 6 weeks away, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
What is let's take a look at your top quarterbacks that you would pick.
Cam, as far as quarterbacks that I would pick, Jared Goff.
See,
Jared Goff running that.
Fans. I told you guys. I forewarned you guys. I forewarned you guys already. Weeks ago, I forewarned you guys that having this conversation with Cleveland. I mean,
Jared Goff got to the NFC Championship last year.
Again, fans, I warned you guys already about this. That talking to Cleveland about fantasy football is like NFL GMs and owners talking to each other days before the draft. You have to sift through. You have to sift through the BS, and I'm gonna try to help you through it. Let me find my window. I thought I had a window with this. I just started looking at Kashane Thompson. So Cleveland says that I asked him about the quarterbacks that his top quarterback said he would consider drafting in his fantasy football draft. And fans, this is the BS I'm talking about right here. This is the BS I'm talking about. He said Jared Goff. Fans, Jared Goff is number 21 on this power rankings. Okay? So again, when you listen to Cleveland, you have to. This is just like the owners days before the draft. You don't know who to trust. Nobody's getting the right story. But Cleveland want to give us Jared Goff. Okay, Jared Goff. Who's your next guy, Cleveland?
Josh Allen. I think he has a lot to prove up there in Buffalo.
And it's funny how you go from number 21 to number 1. Who else you got, Cleveland? And fans, this whole list is bogus. I'm not even gonna ask any more questions if he brings up Geno Smith. If he mentions Geno Smith, fan, that's gonna be the end of the show. So just if he mentions Geno, just so fair warn you guys, we might sign off early tonight if he comes up with Geno Smith on his
I guess it's
top 10 quarterbacks.
Okay, Matt Stafford.
These are sounding like guys that he would not consider picking. But okay, Matt Stafford. Let me see where Matt Stafford ranks on this list. Um, yeah, Matt Stafford is one pick above Jared Goff, fans. Just so you know.
Okay. Jordan Love. Jordan
Ooh.
Love over there in Green Bay.
That's a legitimate pick right there. Number with fourth round, he said Jordan Love. That's a legitimate consideration. Now, Jordan Love, I was kind of high on Jordan Love going into the season last year, and he stunk it up for 6 weeks. But by the time he got his footing set, he got his legs up underneath him, and he got to rolling. He was one of the better quarterbacks at the second half of the season that we've seen. And then obviously you saw what he did to the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs. Does that are you concerned with that, or is he rolling now? We're gonna see the best from Jordan Love.
Hard to say. I like you said. He lost me quite a bit of money, in the early part of the season. And then all of a sudden had that little period where it looked like he was like invincible, and then hit hit another speed bump, and then playoffs came, and he was just killing them. So a little inconsistent, little peak and valley for me, but can put up some big numbers, given the right personnel around him and stay healthy.
So you pick one more pick before, and then I'll pick my 5, and then you can go back and pick your second half. Give me one more pick.
Okay. Anthony Richardson over there in Indianapolis.
I'm not sure why you guys believe in that guy so much. You would not believe in a guy who could his size, who could definitely pass better, but you're hung up on this guy who got hurt in his rookie year. Interesting. So fantasy football, when you talk quarterbacks, I mean, how can you not go first with Patrick Mahomes? How can you not start with Mr. Mahomes on his way to a first ever NFL three-peat? See, and this is how slick Cleveland tries to be. He doesn't want to mention names because he think he's putting those names in my head, thinking that they're going to be quality players. This is how deceptive Cleveland tries to be. So knowing his affinity for CJ Stroud, I'm taking CJ Stroud. And then he's gonna act like, well, it's no big deal. I wasn't interested anyway. But I know that's a complete total lie. So um, I can't really move forward. And this would probably be the first guy I take. But the way things have broken out, this will be the third quarterback I take, and his name is Joe Burrow. Have you heard of Joe Cool, Cleveland?
I have heard of JB.
Okay, just wondering. I don't know how you got CJ or Anthony Richardson, Jordan Love, Matt Stafford, and Jared Allen above that guy, but I'll take Joe Burrow. I'll gladly take this kid. Um, the next guy, because I know he's going to give me some rushing points and some rushing touchdowns likely. I'm gonna take this guy along with some passing yards, and I'm gonna take this guy who's playing for his third MVP in Lamar Jackson. Again, fans, these are the quarterbacks that we believe will have the best upcoming season, Cleveland. So I got one more pick. I got one more pick. That one more pick gonna be Brock Purdy. Who else would it be? Who else would it be?
I mean, who else?
Who else would? I mean, I could go Kirk Cousins, but who knows when he's gonna start the season? So Cleveland, you name 5 quarterbacks. You name Jared Goff, Josh Allen, Matt Stafford, Jordan Love, Anthony Richardson. If none of those guys are available, who would you go to next?
Cal, I'm going to Tua Tagovailoa.
You feeling real confident, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I'd probably go with a Dak Prescott.
Dak is up there. He's ready to be took off the board. Okay.
And then I'll fling it back to your dude, Justin Herbert.
Where is Herbert? Herbert's number 13. Okay. That's Tua, Dak, Justin Herbert. Two more.
From there, I'll probably go Will Levis.
Oh, Will's on the board, huh? Okay. Who you got? Who would you go? Where would you go after that?
And then, from a fantasy football perspective, I'd probably go J.J. McCarthy.
Is JJ starting?
I mean, we'll have to see. I mean, he has to earn his way. He has to earn his stripes, but we'll see.
JJ, you believe in JJ, huh?
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to throw you off, fans. He's trying to throw you off the scent. Because I noticed he inconspicuously left out Aaron Rodgers. And he's been talking a whole lot of cash crap about Aaron Rodgers. He didn't even take the shortstop that he was talking about, that throws a lot of completed balls. Like that's interesting. Um, so I'm gonna go the veteran over the rookie, Jaden Daniels. I'm gonna go the veteran Kirk Cousins.
Oh, wow. Really?
Kirk Cousins, he's not a winner, but he puts up
Talk
numbers.
about trying to throw somebody off the scent, fans. He went and got Kirk Cousins. Really?
He's not a winner, but he's
Never
puts up
happening.
numbers. He puts up numbers. Um, the kid in Chicago, he they just signed a contract, so
Starting
he's
to grow on you a little bit? Is that what
huh?
you're saying? Starting to grow on you a little bit, huh?
No, I'm saying the kid in Chicago, he has a big target who signed the day he signed. He has a veteran target who signed an unlimited deal earlier in the summer. So he's been there training and practicing and working out and running reps with the team. So Keenan Allen is on a personal binge here. So I'm thinking Caleb is going to have an okay season. So I'll take Caleb Williams. He took Tua, which is good. So I didn't have to take him. That means Baker Mayfield is there for the taking. That's what that means. Baker Mayfield. And Baker Mayfield is trying to send me home like a champion. The way this field has broke out. So I got Kirk Cousins, Caleb Williams, and Baker Mayfield. Who am I taking now? Um, you didn't take Aaron Rodgers either, huh? You left him on the board.
That was not one of my 10 picks, no.
Deshaun Watson, he's sitting there he's sitting there so risque. I don't know which way to go, Cleveland, right now. You got Will Levitt, you got JJ, Drake May, Bo Nix, Derek Carr, Gardner Minshew, Aiden O'Donnell. Oh, um, ooh, he gonna swoop up Jared Goff. Uh, you know what? I'm going Gino. I'm going Gino right now, right here. I'm going G Smith.
Let's see if you feel that way on draft day.
I mean, I'd be already happy if I felt this way on draft day, by getting Patrick Mahomes and Brock Purdy. Come on, I'm done. Um, they got Gardner Minshew as the 300 break player. Sam Howell. Yeah, I don't know which direction to go here. New England, Drake May. I'm gonna go. You got Will Levitt. Yeah, jeez, this is tough. This is tough pickings here, man. I'll take just as an insurance. I'll take Michael Penix Jr. just as insurance.
Wow.
Just as insurance.
I'm gonna have to send this show over to my good friend Jalen Hurts. Let him know the way you disrespected him like that. You picked somebody that's not even gonna start over him. And this dude's been to a Super Bowl.
Did you pick him?
I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about you.
I asked, did you pick him? That was my question. Did you pick him?
I have my own criteria for doing things. Tell him, Chance. Yeah.
Jalen Hurts would have been a good pickup right there.
Yeah, it's a damn shame he didn't pick Jalen.
But I got Penix Jr.
I know.
For backup, Kirk Cousins may not play a full season.
As opposed to somebody that with the tush push, I mean, gets like 25 touchdowns. Just doing that.
Well, that guy's gone. The center who led all that this year, he's gone.
Okay, well the other center can still do that too. Yeah.
We don't
watch.
We don't know.
Yeah, it's transferable, that skill. Pushing somebody in their tush.
Oh, that skill's transferable.
Yeah. It's not just unique to just that one center. Everybody can do that.
Cleveland, something that we do that not many podcasts do, man. We give you a little historical lesson on some of the things that's happened in our past. We called it This Week in History. So let me run down this list, Cleveland. July 19th, 1849, excuse me, July 19th, 1847, the 99th Pursuit Squadron was activated in Chanute Field in Rutuli, Illinois. This involved the 99th Fighter Squadron at the Tuskegee Institute and highly regarded university founder Booker T. Washington in Tuskegee, Alabama. That was July 19, 1849. July 15th, 1976, James McGahee is sworn in as the first African-American mayor of Dayton, Ohio. July 16, 1977, Janelle Penny Commission of Trinidad and Tobago was crowned Miss Universe and became the first black woman to do so. Janelle Penny Commission. You heard of her?
Not familiar.
1977. July 12, 1949, African American inventor F.M. Jones successfully patented the air conditioning unit. Did you get one of his patents over there?
Yeah, I have two. Running at present. Can only run them one at a time. You don't want to power surge, but yeah.
Surge protectors, man. That's why they got surge protectors for. July 17, 1995, the South Ferry Hills volcano erupts on the Caribbean island of Montserrat, destroying the capital and forcing most of the population into exile. Do you remember Mount St. Helens erupting?
Sure do.
Like you were in school, right? You were in school then, right?
Yeah. Happened in May 18th.
That was wild.
Huge explosion. So it was super loud, and then it was just the The ash fallout is what I remember more than anything. It's just like it was just
the ash was all over the place.
It was snowing, just ash everywhere. And and the thing that's so crazy about it is that Seattle is so far from Los Angeles.
It's 3 hours away.
That if it's like snow and ash, like imagine what it's like around the area.
Like over in Eastern Washington, it was horrible.
And then the other thing, I don't know if you remember this part, is that I remember watching it on the NBC nightly news, right? And they were talking about how some wind pattern had blown the ash all the way to Virginia. Like they were getting ash in Virginia from the Mount St. Helens explosion.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. I'm about to go back and look at some of that footage because that was bananas. That was a weird time. July 20th, 1967, the first coast-to-coast Black-owned and operated radio network, the National Black Network, NBN, begins operation. July 20th, 1967, the first Black Power conference held in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, in fact, with over 1,000 in attendance. Black Power conference, who eventually became Cleveland, July 17, 1941. New York Yankee player ended his 56 home run streak in Cleveland. Who was that player?
56 game hitting streak.
What did I say?
You said home run streak.
56 game hitting streak. Yeah.
That was Joe DiMaggio.
July 17, 1978, New York Yankee manager Billy Martin gets in a fight with a player in the dugout after the player refused to bunt, causing Martin to suspend him. Who was the player?
That was Reggie Jackson.
Kyle Raleigh hits a walk-off grand slam versus the White Sox. And the big dumper. What's the big dumper? What's the big dumper? Cleveland.
That's Cal Raleigh.
How to get the dumper?
What do you mean?
How to get the nickname the dumper?
Oh, he hits a lot of home runs, man. He's just, it's just what he does.
July 17, 1988, Florence Griffith Joyner of USA sets a woman's record of 10.49 in 100 meters. Are they under 10 now, the women?
I don't know if they're under 10, but I believe they're under that.
July 17, 1990, New York Yankee hits a inside the Parker home run. Who was the Yankee?
What year?
1990. New York Yankee batter hits a inside the park home run.
New York Yankee, 1990.
Deion Sanders.
Oh.
July 17, 1994. Hulk Hogan beats Ric Flair to win WCW World Championship. How Hulk Hogan beat WE all those years, and then go sign with the WW or WCW and beat Ric Flair, who'd been the champion for all those years. Like
conspiracy.
Yes. June 17 or July 17, 1998, The Mask of Zorro, directed by Martin Campbell, starring Antonio Banderas and Anthony Hopkins, was released. It grossed $22.5 million in its opening night. Its total gross for the show was $250 million. Cleveland, did you watch the All-Star game?
No, Cam, I did not. I watched, I believe, the 8th and 9th innings just to kind of recap and kind of figure out, find out who's going to win ultimately.
So you saw those hideous uniforms, huh?
I did.
I thought the American League was putrid. You like the American Leagues? You thought the National League was worse?
I thought the orange was pretty The other one was kind of so-so. The orange was kind of like, ooh.
The American, like the other one was black and kind of royal blue and had the light color in there. I mean, that's not terrible. That's not a terrible combination. But that tan with the royal blue, that looks a little suspect. Just a little off there. It's like, man, those are so ugly. I don't know who they had to do a test of them, right? And say, okay, come back with this uniform, these colors. Let's see what it looks like. They had to look at them and see, okay, this ain't gonna work. They had to.
No, who made the control's got to be somewhere, Cam, before you just release it to the world, right?
I don't know. You would think, right? But those uniforms stunk out loud. Was Paul Skeens versus Aaron Judge a letdown for you?
No, not really. It's an all-star game, Cam. I mean, they try and do their best, but they might not necessarily do, the thing that they're most famous for just on cue exactly when they're supposed to do it. It's an all-star game.
Except when Shohei gets out there and belts out his the first point of the game, getting that 3-run home run. I know you saw that, right?
I did not see that.
Yeah, okay. Should have that queued up for you. Shohei belching another one out the park. I thought Shohei was impressive. You clearly don't do. Who was the dude that stole Shohei's All-Star MVP from him? Who was that guy? Do you know who that guy is?
Duran stole it with a mammoth gargantuan home run to win the game, I believe.
Mammoth gargantuan home run. No, it was just a home run. You don't have to go through all that extra. It was just a home
run. Game-winning home run, yeah.
Did it feel like the fastest game since 1988?
I picked it up pretty late, and they were already pretty well into it. So, yeah, I feel like it was kind of, clicking along there. Pitching dominant.
Do you think your guy, DeBoer, can keep the tide rolling?
Yeah, I think he can keep it rolling to realistic expectations. I don't think he's going to win 7 crystal balls. No.
7. You think he's going to win it all 7 times?
What's that?
You don't think he's going to win 7 in a row, or much less 7 games period, right?
No. What I'm saying is I think he'll win 10, 11 games probably every year. But as far as having to matching the success of Nick Saban, no, that's never going to happen again. I don't think he's the guy to do that. But I mean, Nick came back with a much different purpose than he has at present.
Are you following the WNBA though?
Yeah.
What do you think about the Caitlin Clark? Angel Reese confrontation they had.
I think it's good for the sport. I mean, in the beginning, it was a little bit overkill. It was a little bit, kind of tiresome, just kind of always going back and forth about these two. But I think at this point, it's become kind of a natural rivalry for the two of them, and something that people have an opportunity to talk about and have an opinion on, and grows the sport.
Have you seen her special on ESPN too?
No. Who's special?
Serena Williams. She has it's an ESPN Plus. She has a kind of a documentary special.
Oh, in the arena. I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Yeah, no, I haven't seen either one of those 2 episodes yet.
I'm sorry. No, I was my bad. Caitlin, back to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. Are you this race for the rookie of the year? Who do you think's leading this race? Caitlin Clark today almost had 20 assists, 19 assists. I don't know what she finished off at.
Yeah,
Angel
I think Caitlin's leading that.
That's what she has an unsurmountable lead.
Not insurmountable by any means, but I think at present she's leading it. I mean, if Angel Reese goes off and is just beasting out 20 and 20 every night, yeah, she can get it.
Did you see Boots Ennis over the weekend? His decisive fight in Philly?
I did not know.
No highlights or nothing. What do you think about the 14-year-old Sullivan dressing up for the Philly MLS squad?
I like it. The young kids, playing soccer these days, the young Spanish kid, getting his Copa, trophy. That was cool. Go ahead and get out there and do it. I mean, I remember when we were talking about Freddie Adu back in the day being that guy, and we were just like, okay, well, let's see if you can make it happen.
Yeah, we got another guy out here trying to make it happen. So let's see if he can get out there and actually get a goal in. Yeah. So Cleveland, tell us what about the Major League Baseball, man. Have you seen the J-Rod special on Fox?
No, I thought I had seen most of the J-Rod stuff that goes on. I have not seen the J-Rod special on Fox.
I think it might have came on last night, actually. J-Rod, I didn't know that was his name. That's what they're calling him up there, J-Rod?
Well, he's got the J-Rod squad. He's got the no-fly zone in the outfield there. We call him, Julio Rodriguez.
Not Julio, not Francisco.
Not Francisco. No, that was disrespectful.
You said Paul Skeens, is he the best rookie you've seen pitch?
Roger Clemens was probably the best rookie I saw pitch.
You think Miranda can pick up where he left off with his 12 consecutive hits? Did that streak end?
That streak ended. I don't think he can start a new one now.
It ended at what, 13?
I think it ended at 12.
Well, yeah, and they're we was talking about playing for home field advantage in the All-Star game. Yeah, they stopped doing that. What do you who are the players to look forward to at this second half of the season? Which players are you looking forward to the second half of the season?
I am looking to see if Julio Rodriguez can turn around and be the star that he's supposed to be. I'm looking to see if Juan Soto continues to live up to what he's been able to do in New York. I am looking forward to seeing if some of the players that have been kind of bantered around as far as getting traded actually get traded, i.e. Luis Roberts Jr. from the White Sox, Vlad Guerrero from the Blue Jays, Pete Alonso from the Mets, Bellinger from the Giants. So, if any of those players get traded, that would be interesting news.
The Mariners, can they get out of their only 2 game, man? That lead is dwindling. It's been dwindling for the past. Huh?
It's 1 game.
It's 1 game now? Wait, they didn't play tonight, did they?
No one played tonight. It was 1 game after Sunday.
So they lost Sunday.
They did.
Okay, so because it was wow, how can they rebound it? Waiting on a new pitcher.
No, it has nothing to do with the pitching, everything to do with the hitting. So they're not waiting on more pitching. They're waiting on timely hits, and they strand way too many runners on base, and they don't have any power hitter to clean up. Hence, I said I'm looking forward to seeing if Julio Rodriguez can kind of turn it around in the second half.
So you're leaving it all on this young man's shoulder.
Not all of it, but he is an integral part of what this offense does. And if he's not hitting for power, then it's kind of everyone else kind of trying to compensate and do a little bit too much. And Cal Raleigh is the only other person that really can kind of help with that. So, yeah, we'll see if they're able to trade for those assets. But at the same time, like we've been saying, if everybody knows that's what you need, why do you give a team exactly what you need? Unless you're going to give us a whole bunch of stuff in return. And then usually those kind of trades end up quite lopsided. And this organization has not shown that they're going to be all in like that.
Well, it sounds like the Mariner fans better get ready for. It sounds like Mariner fans better get ready for the Seahawks season. That's what I'm hearing out of you. Were you saying something different?
I'm saying that hopefully they can either A, turn their hitting around, or B, trade for some hitting, in which case they are right in it because they have such a tremendous pitching staff that they're actually always in it. But this would just make them much better and much more formidable. They can be caught by Houston fairly easily, even with this pitching staff, if they continue to hit the way that they have. So either someone has to hit better or they have to trade for more. If it just stays the same, there's definitely a fear that they won't make the playoffs.
That's too bad, sir. I don't know what happened there. I don't know what happened there. My sound, hearing extra sound. Cleveland, we're gonna end the show. First, fans, thank you guys for coming into the Voice of the Fans podcast, week 301. Um, Fans, each and every week we end the show with a quote just to kind of give you guys some motivation to get through the rest of the week. So once again, I want to thank you guys for the Voice of the Fans podcast, and this is man, this is weird. This is weird. We gotta end the show, man. I'm hearing myself speak. Can you hear me, Cleveland?
I can hear you.
I'm hearing this is crazy. I'm hearing I got like a delay.
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Thank you. You got anything else you want to share with the fans? Let the people know before you do that. Before you do that, let the people know where they can find you, Cleveland.
Yeah, at Clevey Wonder on Twitter and TikTok, and Cleveland Steel on Instagram.
Yeah. This is the quote I want to leave you guys with this week. Again, I want to leave you guys the motivational quote to carry yourself through the rest of the week. And this the quote is: excuses are tools of the incompetent. Excuses are tools of the incompetent. That's your guy, Mr. Mike Tomlin, Cleveland.
Yeah, no excuses, no explanations. Yeah.
Fans, thank you guys for tuning into the Voice of the Fans podcast. I encourage you guys to hit the like button, share button. Let us know how you observing the show. Hit us up, Voice of the Fans, at _Voice of the Fans on Twitter. And as always, fans, thank you for making our voice